On airlines, Stephen, Catherine King, she's had a revolving door of excuses as to why Qatar was blocked from extra flights to Australia. So what is the real reason why the government came to that decision?
These are decisions made in the national interest, and an important point to make here. These access agreements are agreements that are made between countries, country to country, not country and an airline. I think Catherine has explained, and the Prime Minister has explained, that these are decisions made in the national interest. But I'm glad you've asked me this point. Can I say, a comment I made a couple of days ago has been completely misconstrued by some. I made the completely uncontroversial statement that the Australian government wants to ensure that our airline industry is viable and competitive, that it's delivering good services to customers. A viable airline industry requires a profitable airline industry, but all airlines, Qantas, all the airlines have an obligation to their workers and to their customers, and clearly over the recent time Qantas has fallen short of that. The Prime Minister has made his views on that quite clear in relation to a couple of areas. So has the Aviation Minister, Catherine King. We will be releasing an aviation industry green paper in the very near future. It will go to competition issues and it'll go to industry viability and sustainability issues.
But just for trade,
and we'll
just
have
on that,
a robust debate around those settings.
But when it comes to a reason why, I mean, there's so many different excuses. I mean, we talk about propping up or keeping Qantas's profits high. It's also the human rights incident in Doha.
Hang on, no. I just want to pick you up on that. Because this has got away over the last couple of days. And if it's attributed to comments I've made the uncontroversial comment that we need all of our airline operators to be viable and profitable in this country.
So
because the opposite to them being viable and profitable is they fall over and customers. And no, I'm not saying profits high. I'm saying that the airline industry, all of the operators need to be viable. We have seen in our history what happens when they're not. We see airlines falling over, customers and workers left high and dry, and we don't want to see that happen. So the aviation industry green paper will be directed at ensuring that we have viability and competition in our airline industry. Because that's in our national interest, but it's also in the interest of customers and consumers.
Okay, but the decision to nix Qatar from extra flights, who made that call? Was it Catherine King?
This is a decision of the Minister. The delegation lies with the Minister and the Minister alone. But I want to make this point because it's also been misconstrued over the last little while, including in recent comments just made on your program by Peter Dutton. These are agreements made between governments, not between governments and a particular airline, but agreements made between governments. And in relation to our current settings, we're already seeing new international carriers or international carriers offering more flights into Australia, and that's a good thing. And that's a good... No, it's not. These are agreements made between governments, and this is a decision of the Minister and the Minister alone, because under our legislation and under our delegations, it's the Minister who has the discretion to make these decisions. But it's stressing importantly, these are agreements made between governments, not between a government and one particular airline.
Was Qantas involved in the conversations?
I wasn't privy to the conversation, so I can't answer that question, Peter.
Okay. Also, there has been a report in the last couple of days that Qatar may be interested in investing in Virgin. Perhaps that brings FIRB into play. Maybe we don't want that. Is that a possibility?
Peter, all of these decisions will be made in the regular way in accordance with Australian law through independent bodies. The FIRB is an independent body making recommendations to government. So all of those sorts of decisions, whether it's in relation to the aviation industry or any other international investor, which triggers the FIRB rules, they'll be made in the normal course of things and in accordance with the law.
Has Qatar made an approach that you know of, that they might be interested in investing in Virgin?
I have no knowledge of these things, Peter. I'm not the Minister responsible for aviation, so I have no knowledge of these things.
Can this decision be overturned? Will you make a different decision, or are we going to keep things as they are?
Again, 2 points. This is a discretion or a delegation made to Catherine King as the minister responsible, not the Prime Minister, but to Catherine King as the minister responsible. And in relation to the agreements that we have with international carriers and other countries, these are agreements that are made on a government-to-government basis, not a government-to-airline industry basis, but on a government-to-government basis, and they take into account a whole range
their
of
government
issues,
runs the
in
airline,
particular,
though.
the national interest. Like I said, irrespective of who the government is in relation to a particular airline, these are agreements that are made on a government-to-government basis. They're not decisions that are made on a government to one particular airline basis.
Stephen Jones, appreciate your time. As always, we'll talk to you again soon.